The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming to you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and thank you for joining me on this fine Monday evening. We've got a jam-packed show for you. It's a winning kind of Monday. We love the fact when the Tennessee Titans come in and hand an easy loss to our opponent, especially it being the Los Angeles Rams. So first, let's get to our special guest. Tonight, you know him of his own show of Titan and Truth. Please welcome the Blue Enforcer.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be here.
It's great to have you on the show, Blue. It has been an amazing day so far. Everybody's got the winning fever. Seems like analysts are kind of changing their tune, and some of them, well, we'll see.
Yeah, and really it gets to the point, you know what? Who cares what they think? They're so-called experts. And obviously, they got a lot wrong from yesterday.
No doubt. And especially, it seems like the entire NFL world had a lot go wrong. Especially if you were a team in the division, you apparently had a lead, and that lead slimmed up very quickly.
Exactly.
I'm definitely looking at you, Dallas.
Also, Minnesota.
So it was a pretty rough day for some of our division leaders, but not so much in Nashville land, where the Tennessee Titans came to work. They didn't even let Michael Buffer get out Let's Ready to Rumble. They kicked it down the field and were ready to go.
Such a beautiful night of football. It was incredible. I mean, I went in with a complete open mind. You know, we're playing with house money, and it just what a beautiful night. What a beautiful night of football. And it was absolutely incredible. I had a blast with the fan club here in Memphis, and it was incredible. The live stream was great.
And we've got a lot to talk about that game. But first, let's go ahead and jump into our top news of the day. Throwing up on the little screen. Let's get ready. So for our first story of the day, and unfortunately, it's been one that's gone on all week, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, with the apparent test that came back that he did not get the vaccine, and unfortunately, he lied about it because, well, it got released. So the big question is, what's going to happen now at this point? So Blue Enforcer, please give me your take on this.
Well, I mean, you know, when I first heard this footage come out, I was like, come on, Aaron, you're supposed to be one of the pillars of the NFL. You know, set an example. Set a good example for everybody else. You didn't have to lie about anything. You know, you know, if you believe in something, just say it. You know, I mean, true enough, what are you afraid of? I mean, you know, truth of the matter is, should have gotten vaccinated in the first place, but I mean, you don't need to lie and say, well, I was vaccinated when you really wasn't. And, you know, I understand he's saying, well, I was allergic to something of that. I mean, that should have been discussed in the beginning before you just say, well, yeah, I'm vaccinated when you weren't. I mean, you know, it's a really bad look. It's a really bad look on him. And it also makes you wonder what else was going on inside of the Packer organization as well. How many other players were thinking the same thing?
And it just goes back to Aaron Rodgers just seems to have so much power in the Green Bay organization. A team that has no true owner, which is owned by stockholders. There's really no one to call him out on the things that he's doing. And like you said, to me, it's not a question of whether he was vaccinated or not vaccinated. The thing was, the man lied. And that's what it comes down to.
I definitely agree. It's just the fact, you know, I mean, you made yourself look bad. You embarrassed yourself. You embarrassed your organization. You embarrassed your fan base who, like you said, the Green Bay Packers are the one, you know, publicly traded organization that is owned basically by the fans. You know, the stockholders, they hold the power, which, I mean, obviously, you know, some of those fans maybe could call him out. He'll probably look like, you know, who are you to call me out? And they would say, hey, I'm one of the stockholders. I'm one of the shareholders, so I actually can. So, I mean, it's just it puts a black mark on them, and it didn't exactly help them in their game against the Chiefs, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
It didn't, and unfortunately, for one of those situations where it was a very winnable game for Green Bay, because once again, the Chiefs' offense was stagnant and their defense was just absolutely putrid again. So Aaron Rodgers has that going for him in the terms of, you guys need me more than I need you. But at the same time, this whole song and dance is just getting old. If he doesn't want to be in Green Bay, then maybe it's time for him to go. Go work on Jeopardy. Go do something else. I mean, the thing is, you decided to come back. You could have held out, and you didn't. So, honestly, it's not a money priority. It just comes to the fact where it's like, I think the Green Bay Packers have a huge problem of holding on to quarterbacks too long. It happened with Brett Favre, and now it's happening with Aaron Rodgers. The problem is, there's no one in the wings because Jordan Love just clearly isn't ready for the situation.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love basically got forced into the situation, and, obviously enough, Aaron Rodgers, we know, he ain't exactly the friendliest guy to be around because, yes. I mean, he's not, obviously Jordan Love not ready for the situation, and obviously Aaron Rodgers is not going to coach him up because it's like, in his mind, he's like, no, I'm Aaron freaking Rodgers. I don't need to coach up anybody. Why am I going to coach up somebody that's going to eventually take my job? So why am I going to do that? Aaron Rodgers is about Aaron Rodgers.
And James Rodgers brings up a good point. Everyone has their own choice, and he didn't say vaccinated. He said immunized. Do channel your opinion. Love our team. Can't wait to talk about that start. And we will. But the thing is, I'm all about truth on this show. I want people around me to be honest. And if Aaron Rodgers is going to lie to the fan base, no matter how way you see it, it's just not good. It's not good for the organization. It's not good for the NFL. It's not good for Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're allergic to one of the, things, one of the ingredients in the vaccine, I mean, there are other options. It depends on which vaccine is it. Was it the Pfizer? Was it the Moderna? Was it J&J? I mean, there are other options, and there are other pieces of information that you could get that maybe you could have talked to the NFL. Now, I know that he tried to, I guess, appeal, this whole issue because of, I guess, being allergic to one of the ingredients, and it got denied or something. That was something that came out. I'm not fully versed in the story, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the whole story. But, I mean, it's just a fact. You didn't have to lie about that. You could have just said that in the beginning, and maybe somebody would have been able to provide you with the information or the help to help you, understand the research. But I mean, the research and the information is out there on all of this. I mean, could have been better with that.
Agreed. And we'll keep an eye on the situation, but as of now, it looks like fines are definitely coming and maybe a suspension. It's highly unlikely, but we'll wait and see before we get into it any further. So on our next story, DeSean Jackson has a new home, and there goes the thing. I got the bugs jumping all over the place. All right. So DeSean Jackson is now with the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, obviously with the Bugs, see a lot of receiver news that we're going to get into, but I mean, DeSean Jackson going to the Raiders, that's very interesting. Although him going to the Raiders, we know sometimes DeSean Jackson can be a little bit of a trip. So going to Vegas, I don't know if that's the best idea for him, personally. But as far as football-wise, I mean, they do have to replace, what happened with Henry Ruggs. So, I mean, he said, he's trying to go to a contender, but I don't know if the Raiders are considered a contender and all, but we'll have to see. I mean, he still has some decent speed. Could definitely help David Carr and everything out, but we'll see if those two can mesh. So, very interesting choice of where he wanted to go.
Agreed. And I feel with the Ruggs situation, Jackson fills into a position of need. But the Raiders are definitely having a lot bigger issues than replacing players. But hopefully Jackson can help make a little bit of difference on that offense. And our next story up, OBJ. Who wants him? Who's going to get him?
Well, I would probably say the Titans would not be one of those teams, to be perfectly honest. I know there are probably a lot of people. I've seen some comments in Twitter and all over the place saying, "Let's go get OBJ. Let's go get OBJ." I'm like, y'all do know who OBJ is, right? I mean, this dude is wide receivers are known as divas, and OBJ is, I mean, the definition of a wide receiver diva. A picture next to he would be one of the pictures next to those words, because he is the true definition of a diva.
And it just comes to the situation. He's coasting on accomplishments that he had with the New York Giants. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been that effective in Cleveland, and of course the stories have come out where he's just difficult to be around, and Baker Mayfield and him just are clearly not on the same page. So going forward, you look at the options he has on the waiver wire. The Giants have already said no. Detroit's already said they have no interest in him. And the teams that he wants to go with, that just doesn't seem plausible. And those three teams that he's named are the Seahawks, the 49ers, and the Saints. Do you think there's any chance that one of those has a chance at him, or even wants him?
I mean, all of those teams are high-character teams. So, first with Seattle, they already kind of have a pretty decent situation with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. You got, I believe Swain is his name, another guy that's pretty good. So, I mean, they're pretty decent. And, oh, by the way, Captain Russell Wilson, the good guy, is on his way back, clear to return. So, I don't think necessarily Seattle needs him. The 49ers, on the other hand, they are no contender. So, OBJ is not going to be happy there. And, John Lynch is a hard-nosed type of guy. That was how he played with Tampa Bay. I don't know if he'll mesh well in San Francisco. And then the last team, the Saints, I mean, they probably need help with Michael Thomas. But think about this. You're hearing things about how there's some tension between Peyton and ownership and Michael Thomas. You think it's going to be any better with OBJ?
Highly unlikely.
I mean, it's highly likely that would be a combustible element. So, OBJ's options are limited. I mean, this is a guy who, in 2018, before playing the Titans, was wearing like a $50,000 Rolex on his wrist, basically saying he wanted to show off his blingage more than trying to play football.
So options are definitely getting limited for OBJ. One team I think would fit well with him would possibly be the Minnesota Vikings.
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that with Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. I mean, again, OBJ, he's going to want to go to a contender, somebody that is, possibly in the running for a Super Bowl. I mean, I would hope the rich don't get richer. You go to like a Kansas City or, the Chargers or something like that, or any of those particular teams. But Minnesota, wouldn't be a bad spot for him. But, Mike Zimmer is probably on his last legs, right now in Minnesota. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I looked at something on Bleacher Report. Looks like Sean Payton is basically saying, Odell Beckham to the Saints, impossible. Lions and Giants don't want him, like you said earlier. So, I mean, he made clear waivers that nobody wants him.
Options are getting very limited for OBJ. We'll definitely see what happens in the coming days. And in our next story, unfortunately, one we've already mentioned so far, Henry Ruggs. His next court date is set for this Wednesday. And a horrible, horrible situation this is, especially for the young woman and her pet involved. That it really has just hit a nerve with the community. And I know everybody is just sending their thoughts and prayers out to his family and her friends, and just the entire situation where you keep turning on the news, just something else.
Yeah.
Same aspect. It just basically shows we are definitely at a time and age where there are so many things at people's hands where they can try and avoid these situations. You're responsible for yourself. And Henry Duggs, I'm not going to defend what he did. He had many opportunities to possibly call a cab, an Uber, or a friend, or whatever.
Yeah.
And
you have to be in those type of situations. In those type of situations, you're driving. I mean, first of all, he's driving a Corvette, driving over 156 miles an hour. Which, I mean, what the heck are you doing going that fast anyway? I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. The fastest I've even went on the interstate, and this is with flowing traffic, is probably 85, and I try to be careful with that, because you don't want to be going so fast to, first of all, the cops catch you, or you can't brake in time and you end up hurting somebody else. And now, because of your carelessness and irresponsibility, you cost somebody their life. A family loses someone now. And I mean, I did see something where it looked like, I guess the accident happened. Something was put out. I think it was on Instagram. I don't know how true it is. I'm not gonna 100% say it was true or not, but it said that maybe he tried to save the woman, pull her out, and get her out and try to see if everything's okay. But she eventually passed. But again, speculation on that particular part. But sticking to the facts, I mean, number one, you shouldn't have been going that fast anyway in that particular vehicle. You should have just, like you said, common sense. If you got to know you're an NFL player. Everybody is watching your every move. And anytime that you make any kind of mistake, somebody is going to show it, or somebody's going to get like a video or a picture. And even if somebody deletes it, it's like Herm Edwards would always say to the rookies, it's like, don't press send. Think of what you're doing before you press send. Because even if you go back and delete that, or you say, I wish I did this differently or anything, it's too late. It's already happened. Somebody already seen it. It's already out there.
And more news will come out on this. And at the moment right now, we'll just wait and see what goes down. Right now, it's just a situation that continues to get worse.
Terrible situation. Terrible situation. Prayers out to the family, though.
Agreed. And finally in news, on a little bit of a lighter side, we've got a football game tonight. It's not a great football game, but we got a football game tonight.
It's a football game. It's a game. Probably one that the Titans might want to pay just a little attention to.
And I've got a guest on the other side joining us right now. And that would be Titan Man joining us also on the show. How are we doing today, Titan Man?
Man, my Titan Man.
Do we get Titan Man on?
I don't think
we've got him.
Yeah, maybe looks like some type of difficulty right there.
We might have some technical difficulties.
Computers, you gotta love them, right?
I try not to, but it just doesn't work out that way.
I agree, because I mean, I quick story. While I know Titan Man is probably trying to make sure his connection's good. That was what happened last night with me. I was doing my watch party, and just all of a sudden out of nowhere, my mic goes out. My music went out, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Like, why is all this out? And I'm trying to refresh and everything. Nothing was going right. And I mean, stuff is going on during the game, and I'm trying to, make sure I give a full account of what's happening. It's like number trouble. It took about 10 minutes before everything got back. So, Tight Man, I understand, homie.
We'll try and get you back on, buddy. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We just try and roll with it here on the Power Hour. But while we're waiting to try and see that real quick, let's read some of these comments we got. Bryce Pratt, what's up, bro? How you doing tonight, buddy? Good seeing you. We're gonna have him on the show this upcoming week, so we'll definitely want y'all to catch that. So
yeah, that's what's up.
And we got our buddy Jake Taylor, Tighten Up.
Yes.
A lot to be proud of this week. Our old buddy Titan Rossi.
Yes. Titan Rossi, my guy.
And I agree with you, Rossi. The Raiders are falling apart. There's a lot, especially with the Damon and Eddie story.
Yeah, that was crazy. You know, I mean, come again, irresponsibility. I'm like, you're an NFL player. You can't be just putting out video. You can't be putting out a video, you know, holding a gun, spraying everywhere, talking about, I'm going to get you. Use your brain.
Yeah, go to a shooting range. Use the guns there. That's what they're for.
Exactly. And you shouldn't be just, you know, video and showing a gun just in your house all over the place. I'm like, put that stuff up.
Oh, goodness.
I know.
There's just so much going on there, and the Raiders just have so much drama going on. It's just unbelievable at times.
Yeah, people wonder about the Raiders. I'm like, I would say of some of the playoff possible teams, the Raiders are one I'm very least worried about.
I'm not going to lose sleep over them, and I don't think anybody else should right now at this point. But
exactly. And I mean, you know, and Deshaun Jackson, I'm like, good luck. Vegas is seeming like to be a type of place you might not want to go, you know, playing football. Too many distractions.
And yeah, that's no problem, James. You know, you're allowed to have opinions on the show. I like talking about things that are noteworthy of talking about, and sometimes they're going to get the little people upset, but that's okay. You know, this is what this is a show about. We can talk about things and we work things out on a format where we can just find level ground. You know, my thing is honesty is everything.
Hey, that's as true as it could get.
Well, all right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Hopefully by then we'll get this figured out, and we'll probably get Titan Man on this next segment. When we come back, we'll be talking Titans, Rams. That's what's up. I'm Michael Bishop with the Power Hour. Back in 30. The Power Hour's on the air, live streaming to you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and thank you for joining us on this fine Monday evening. With me is my guest, the Blue Enforcer of Titans in Truth. Got him. We've got a lot to talk about. Great having you on the show, buddy. If you would like, I definitely want to make sure the fans get to know where all your platforms are and where they can find you at.
Well, I am actually very easy to find. If you see Titans in Truth, you can definitely look me up on YouTube. Very easy page to find. Got a big post game coming up tonight, probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm going to do that, so definitely recapping the victory over the Rams. I am live every Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook at TNT, the TNT Enforcers page there. On Instagram, it's at Titans_N_Truth. And then on Twitter, I am at TNT Blue Enforcer. That's at capital T, capital N, capital T, capital B, LU, capital EN, number 4, CER on Twitter. So you can find me there. Not hard to find at all.
Give the man a look. He's definitely worth checking out. Well, all right, guys. It's time to talk about what we want to talk about. Last night's game, Titans and Rams. Let's get to it. In a great game where everything could have gone the way the Titans needed to go to. So much to hit on. So many great stats. Let's go ahead and get these up now. So, Blue, what was crazy to me was the fact that on offense, no one really stood out. That this was a game just based off of a full team effort. And I think it's been a while since we've had a game where there wasn't really just one star guy that stood out and made things happen. It was really just an assessment of team coming together and finding the right guys to make the right plays at the right time.
Well, you got to think, first off, it's because, I mean, you know, first off, it's because one of our main focal points was not able to play in our king, Derrick Henry. So now, you know, you're coming into this game. This is the first game for the offense without Derrick Henry. How are they going to adjust? How are they going to play this? How are they going to find a way to move the ball? And you can see right now it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to adjust and adapt to this situation because this is a new territory. You know, this is the first time in quite some time that we got to play without the king. And I definitely like the fact that this is a game where we get to prove we're more than just Derrick Henry. And was it great offensively? Absolutely not. There were a couple of, but still there were a couple of drives that were actually very, very key. The Titans to go up 21-3. That was a good drive. A good 14-play drive that took nearly 7 minutes off the clock to pretty much end the first half. And then another impressive drive that took nearly 7.5 minutes off the clock to close the game out. So, the Titans offense did just enough of what they had to do to get it done, even though the stats sure don't look like it.
And they're very telling stats, especially Ryan Tannehill leading the way, 27 attempts for 19 catches, 19 passes, 143 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and didn't have to battle for his life, but 3 sacks is still a telling tale. And the rushing stats right there, of course, Derrick Henry not being the guy we don't have it for the moment, Tennessee definitely had to pull out a bag of tricks and see what they could do and who could be the guy. So, Lou, is there anybody that stood out in your mind just that worked pretty good in the rushing game?
Well, I would have to say, even though I would say congrats to Adrian Peterson getting his 125th career rushing touchdown, tying Walter Payton. Sweetness. Long live sweetness. But I would have to say the guy that I thought stood out and probably should have gotten more carries was D'Onta Foreman. I mean, he had a couple of runs that, I think he had one for like 8 or 9 yards or something like that. He had 5 carries, 29 yards, about 5 yards a carry, had a long of 11. And on that particular one, if D'Onta Foreman doesn't get tripped up, he's still running. Like, he maybe either breaks it off for, maybe a good 20, 30-yard gain, or maybe that's a house call possibly on that. And that's something I have to go back and take a look at with that. But, I mean, D'Onta Foreman, I think he should have gotten some more carries late in the game instead of Adrian Peterson. But I understand you're kind of getting Adrian Peterson's feet wet. But I liked what D'Onta Foreman did.
And also on the receiving end, it just seemed like nobody could just get going, especially once the second half rolled around.
Yeah, and I mean, first off, we have to talk about one, as I like to call him, Arthur Juan A.J. Downtown Brown. 11 targets, only 5 catches, had some very, very bad drops that is very uncharacteristic, but notice that there's a time or two where he has a case of the dropsies, and that, you can't have that. And obviously, Jalen Ramsey kind of got in his head a little bit. I think he messed with him. And, I mean, you got to think, those top corners are going to try to do that. It doesn't get any easier. I know we're going to talk, about the Saints, but Marshawn Lattimore is another. He's a good one. And so what I did not like is that Julio only got 4 targets. I mean, if you're going to give AJ like 9, 10, 11 targets, Julio should at least have another 8 targets himself. I mean, throw the man the ball. That's all I'm saying.
And you definitely got the sense there was just opportunities that they could have had more points, and they just didn't get it. I think if, like you said, AJ just kind of kept his head on his shoulders a little bit and just ignored Ramsey, which that's just one of the things he's good at. He's good at getting in guys' heads, and once he gets there, you really kind of lose focus.
Yeah, he's living rent free, and I mean that's why Jalen Ramsey is one of the best corners in the league. He knows how to play. That psychological warfare, and sometimes in football, in the movie The Little Giants, famous Indianapolis Colt Steve Entman said it. Football's 80% mental, 40% physical.
That'll definitely get a lot of people's attention if you don't confuse them first.
Well, probably. Anybody seen Little Giants, you know what I'm talking about. Definitely, because I mean, it is a mental game. A lot of the football game is played between the ears and behind the eyes, and you got to block out everything else. So,
and definitely don't forget your Alka-Seltzer tablets.
Yeah, or your blood pressure medication.
All right, I think we've got Titan Man on. We're going to try and see if we can get him on with us. Titan Man, are you there?
Hey, look.
Do we have Titan Man?
My friend.
Apparently, this is just not working for him.
Oh man, Titan Man is one of my peeps, one of my a friend, and I'm always, glad to see him when he's, at the games and stuff like that. I just, some computers again.
I know they're just nothing wants to cooperate.
They don't ever want to act right.
Let's see. Let's try one more thing. Titan Man, are you there? Are you there, Titan Man? Well, we lost him. Well,
man.
That
hurts.
All right, he's back. We'll try one more time. Titan Man, are you there?
Yeah, it's like I see the screen come up, but I don't see him.
Technology just not want to play today. It's not.
Technology just doesn't want to act right. It doesn't want to cooperate.
We've had a lot of bugs the last couple of weeks, so I hate this is happening now, but
yeah, that's true. Like I said, I had that happen to me yesterday, and it had me all kinds of confused and upset. So, Titan Man, I know how you feel.
And I apologize. I apologize for the inconvenience. I'll try and see if I can get you on. If not, I'll try and get you on just on a one-on-one interview basis. That's unfortunate that this is happening now, and I apologize for that. So I'll keep trying to see if I can get you on, sir, but we'll just continue to push on while we're doing that. But while the offense was as good as it was, the defense was the game changer here.
Oh, absolutely. And before we go further, Titan Man, I'll be seeing you on Sunday, sir. But, man, this defense. Woo! Oh, my goodness. It was like poetry in motion. It was just a beautiful, amazing thing to see. This defense, it was like a movie, and it was a action thriller. They showed up and showed out, and it was absolutely incredible.
And it's definitely the best defensive stand I think I've seen him play all year. The fact that Jeffrey Simmons, without a doubt, this was his coming out game, and it's well overdue.
Yes, absolutely. And I tweeted this out. I tweeted it out yesterday. I think this is one of the best defensive performances I've seen in the last 5 years. And I'm not going to discredit, the Chiefs game, but I just think this one was more impressive than the Chiefs' performance, honestly. I mean, that one was good. This one was way better. in my honest opinion, and did it on Sunday night in front of a national audience, a world audience. So the world audience got to see, man, this Titan defense is legit.
And they definitely brought the house. When it seemed like Matthew Stafford was going to have some kind of comeback or any kind of just relevance in that game, the defense stepped up and made plays all night long. Giving Simmons props, and once again, D'Amico Autry is showing why we got him.
It's beautiful. The most underrated signing we've had in free agency. And, you know, I called into a radio show earlier, and I remember this article on Titans Wire. Our defensive line should be known as the elementals, the four elements, the four main elements of the earth. You got earth, air, fire, water, and those elements work well together. Bud Dupree is the fire. Jeffrey Simmons is the earth. Harold Landry is the air, and D'Amico Autry is the water, and it all works together. Bud Dupree brings that fire. Jeffrey Simmons holds his ground. D'Amico Autry, like water, just splashes out everything. And then crisp as air, Harold Landry swoops in. So that front four, the elements, the elementals are doing their thing, helping turn this defense into a Nashville nasty, Music City mayhem defense.
And like you said, the fact that this was a primetime game, it was basically all of America was watching. Everything was on the grand stage, and everything couldn't have worked any better if you could have scripted it. Even when LA seemed to pull out all the stops and show that they were ready for the prime time and the bright lights, Tennessee just came out and just stole their lunch money and kicked them in the stomach.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you could tell LA is pretty finesse. They are a finesse team. And, you know, the experts, like I said, the so-called national pundits all look stupid because every last one of them picked the Rams. And, I mean, think of who they played ever since they lost to Arizona. They played teams like the Lions, the Texans, the Giants. They haven't played anybody since Arizona. And then they come up against this team, and the Tennessee Titans just plain and simple bullied them. The Titans pretty much was like that schoolyard bully. They came and they beat the Rams up, plain and simple. The Rams tried to throw a little jab here and there, maybe, you know, a small uppercut. But the Titans come back with some right crosses, a good hook, you know, or something like that. And then just like when Jeffrey Simmons pushed that lineman back into Stafford, that was beautiful. Like that nice uppercut that Jeffrey Simmons laid to Matt Stafford.
And that's textbook teaching how a defensive lineman needs to attack an offensive lineman.
Of course.
Without a doubt, one of my favorite plays of the game. And you also have to give consideration not only to Simmons and not only to Autry, but, of course, I'm also bringing up into this conversation, it's nice to have Jayon Brown back.
Yes. Jayon Brown being back, I mean, does wonders for this defense. I know a lot of people think that Jayon Brown will not be back after this season. I mean, I know he has his injury issues, but I can honestly say I think Jayon and David Long together is the tandem I want going forward. Those two. And then Monty Rice, who didn't do too bad in previous games, backing them up. But, I mean, man, Jayon Brown being back definitely helped. And David Long, that man is a stud. I mean, that the 2019 draft class, my goodness, are they getting production from that class. I mean, AJ, Big Jeff, Armani, you know, Nate Davis is a starter. David Long, I mean, incredible production from that class. And the man that I got to give some props to the mayor of Murfreesboro. He's back.
There's no question about that. Byard is continuing to play at a Pro Bowl level, and if anyone tries to keep him out of the Pro Bowl, then they don't know anything about football. This man's having a renaissance resurgence of a career right now.
Yes. Definitely needs to be in the Pro Bowl, should be an all-pro consideration, and dare I say, maybe even along with Harold Landry, should get some defensive player of the year conversation, even though I know that it's going to be kind of hard to kind of hold off Trayvon Diggs, but Byard should be in the conversation.
He should. And, like you said, there are just a lot of great candidates this year in the conversation. You've got Diggs, you've got Micah Parsons, you've got Myles Garrett, which is clearly one of the favorites. But he continues to make the case of what it is to be an elite shutdown safety. I love the fact that he plays with just a chip on his shoulder, and it's almost Ed Reed-esque the way he plays.
Yes. And Kevin Byard, man. Love that guy, man. Love that guy. I mean, just is the ultimate team player. Great attitude. I mean, he's a leader. And he's a leader, leads by example. Last year was an abnormality. It was abnormal. It was a fluke. We all can understand that now. And I got to also give a shout out. First of all, Amani Hooker. Amani Hooker made a terrific play on a particular third down, and it led to that fourth down that was stopped with Bud Dupree put the pressure on. I mean, textbook tackle on Darrell Henderson on that third down, where it looked like Darrell Henderson was going to get a first down, and just textbook. And Chris Jackson played his tail off last night.
He did. And the fact that the secondary continues to improve, it shows that this next tweet that I'm about to read from our good friend Teron Davenport, who we all are good friends of, my favorite tweet of the night especially, per ESPN Stats Info, the Titans are the fourth team in the last 15 seasons to win 5 straight games, all against playoff teams from the previous season. The previous 3 teams to do it all made the Super Bowl, and 2 won it. That's a telling stat.
Yes, that is. I mean, I saw that, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, the potential this could have. I mean, again, and I'll take it even a step further than that. And shout out to my guy, Mr. Bowtie Swag, Teron Davenport. I mean, the guy knows how to shine and look great. So definitely love my guy, Teron Davenport. I text with him every now and then, but it's just so impressive what the Titans have done these last 4 games. I mean, the fact is, you go into this was Murderer's Row. After we beat the Jets, all of this is after the Jets. We're looking at ourselves at 2-2 like, what the heck is going on? Like, what's wrong with us? We lost to the lowly Jets of all teams, and now they've come in and beat Cincinnati, so don't feel as bad now. But, I mean, we were just hoping maybe to go 2-2 or get just that one against the Colts, and we'd be okay. I honestly could say I didn't think we would win all 4, but, man, it's impressive, and I love it.
The thing about the Jets game is, I always felt this is going to be the stepping stone that can possibly launch them. Mm-hmm. This is going to be what New England's Bills game in 2002 for them that excelled them.
Yeah.
Now, I know no one wants to talk about the Jets game. Bryce, I understand. Nobody wants to talk about that game, believe me. But there's a reason. There's a reason why we talk about it. Games like that are motivational pieces.
Yeah.
When you have a loss that humiliating and that humbling, it's basically the one that sets you on the path of what you need to do and what it takes to win at a championship level in the NFL.
That And I'm gonna echo what you said. Again, I agree with Bryce. Yes, we hate talking about that game. However, that game was a blessing in disguise for us because you know what? We probably took that game for granted. And if we had somehow beat the Jets, I think we would have took the Jaguars game for granted a little bit. And not saying we would have lost that game, but we probably would not have put our best self forward in that game because, again, if we win that game against the Jets, I don't think AJ plays in that game, in the Jags game. We were already without Julio, but, it just taught us, look, no game is guaranteed. Can't take no game off because if you do, any team can beat you. Just ask Cincinnati. Just ask Buffalo last night that if you take a game off, what happens?
Josh Allen's going to beat Josh Allen all day long, apparently.
Yes, he did. Josh Allen did defeat Josh Allen. It just wasn't the Josh Allen everybody thought it was going to be.
That literally is probably maybe the NFL equation of I'm kicking my ass, do you mind?
Exactly.
But
I'm like, it's basically like that, like, yeah, what's going on? Who are you beating? I'm beating myself. That is truly where you say, yep, I beat myself in this game.
But enough about their game. Our game was the one that mattered. It's the fourth out of the fifth in the gauntlet. Basically, this is 5 in a row, I believe, now. The Titans have won
5 in a row. 7-2, atop of the AFC. About a half game lead on Baltimore, and it feels so good.
But there's much work to be done because I always have in my mind you have to have a Mamba mentality, just like Kobe did. And I always say, I've been making this my rally cry, job's not finished. There's much more to go.
And just like they said, I want to say this was after the Colts game. Lombardi Trophy isn't given in November. And so, you could tell the Titans were hungry last night. I'm pretty sure they heard the noise from the national media. I mean, Stephen A. And, I'm going to talk about this on my show because I'm going to put him on blast. Stephen A. Him and Michael Irvin, just on November 1st, when the news broke about Derrick Henry, both of them were saying, season's over. Season's over for him. That Derrick Henry is the Tennessee Titans, can't win without him. And lo and behold, we beat the Rams, and then all of a sudden, Stephen A. kind of was trying to contradict himself, trying to be like, no, that's not what I was saying. And that's not what I was trying to say. And look, I'm vaccinated, got my 2 shots. I'm clean of this. Like basically trying to say, look, just scratch what I said before. I'm like, no, you said it. It's on record.
We got receipts. There's receipts.
Exactly. We got the video footage. It's there. It's out there. You said it. And then I didn't like the fact Michael Irvin was like calling him out. I'm thinking if I was on the set, be like, hold up, playmaker. Didn't you say the same thing?
I think they did. So, I mean, it is what it is. If they want to say what they want to say, I mean, they're entitled to their opinion. But yeah, at the same time, that's all right. I'm pretty sure, their favorite Buffalo Bills, Taylor Lewan. So you do what you do.
Yeah, that's probably why the Rams lost last night, because their all-pro tackle, Taylor Lewan, for the Rams was not in the game.
It happens. You got to do what you got to do, man. So it's
exactly
no big deal.
Exactly. Shout out to the Rams. Shout out to Rams tackle Taylor Lewan.
Well, it was a great game, and the emotion was great, and the fact that this was a coming out party for the Tennessee Titans to basically just show the NFL we're here. They punched them in the mouth and said we're here.
They did, and the only thing, and the only thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna try to be quick on this, they haven't even played their best ball yet, not even close, and now we're kind of getting to the back end of the schedule. defense, they got to continue to keep this up while the offense kind of has to start over and figure things out again as far as how to go without Derrick Henry. And, you know, some of the teams coming up, this is going to be good practice for them, basically. Good games to kind of, it's basically going to be a big glorified practice that counts. So it's good to kind of work out the kinks, find some stuff. Now, want to win those games, but if the offense can figure this out with this defense, and then the King returns at some point before the end of right at the end of the year, watch out. Good luck.
Scary.
Good luck. Scary. Very scary.
But the biggest thing right now is 4 wins, 5 total. And going forward, we know we've got a lot of work to do on the offense. But the thing is, I felt going into Los Angeles, this was practice for February.
Yes.
I want to go back February, and that needs to be the mindset.
Oh, my goodness. I saw pictures from a lot of Titan fans that went to the game. I was so jealous. It looks like SoFi is a beautiful stadium, and I would love to see it Super Bowl time, even though tickets will be astronomically high. So halftime
show won't be bad either, from what I've heard. Probably
not. I mean, it sounds like it's gonna be a good one. So, you know, hopefully first. But I will say before that, I think we, you know, after tonight, focus on being 1-0 with these boys from the Big Easy coming to town.
We'll jump into that momentarily, but we'll take a quick break right now. Got to catch our breath for a second. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. I'm Michael Bishop with the Power Hour. Catch your breath. The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and thank you for joining us this Monday evening. Joining me on my right is the Blues Enforcer of Titans in Truth. Thank you for joining the show tonight, sir. It's great having you here with your insight. I have been wanting to get you on here for months, and I'm happy you have decided to finally join us.
Hey, I appreciate the invite. Definitely probably long overdue, but I appreciate you reaching out to me, and I will definitely make sure to return the favor and have you on TNT myself. So it was great. Not, you know, definitely, I have to admit, enjoyed the commercials right now.
I definitely saw you nodding along, so I think my choice of music is appreciated.
Hey, I'm like, you know, seeing those commercials, I'm like, I like the advertisements. I thought they were great.
Well, I definitely get those on my TikTok page. Sometimes I just like playing around and making things. So, also, I've got to get my plugs in. Don't forget, if you love the show, help it grow. Follow me at thepower615. I am on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok. Check out my daily TikToks, PowerPoints, every Tuesday and Friday. Also find the official Power Hour YouTube channel. Just look for the Blue Mic. And also giving a shout out to my boy, Blue Enforcer. Make sure he gets his plugs too.
Yep, Titans in Truth. Hit it up. Smash that like button, y'all. Smash it. Show this man some love. I mean, come on. This is great. This is great. Having a great time. Talking Titans. Show him some love. Come on to Titans in Truth. Show me some love. And we going to keep this thing rocking.
The truth is speaking. You should listen.
We'll set you free.
All right, Blue, let's jump into this Week 10 predictions. Go to the small screen. Let's do it. So Week 10, our first Thursday night matchup is on Fox at 8:20 p.m. Eastern. And it's a matchup between the Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you like?
Well, now I'm just going off of the top of my dome right now. I think this is gonna be. I mean, right now the Dolphins struggling. They didn't go with Tua last week. They somehow, they beat the Texans, but this is Baltimore should win this game. Lamar Jackson, they're playing at a high level. Great victory over Minnesota, so I'm going with Baltimore on this one.
Good pick. Hard for me to go to 1-7 team and think they're going to get everything figured out, especially when it seems like they've all but abandoned Tua Tagovailoa, which is unfortunate, but Lamar Jackson continues to play at a high level, and I just don't see a lot of pushback right here. So I'll say for the sake of being safe, give me the Ravens. I'll say they win by 10 points.
All right. I'll say 7.
Going with 7. Moving on to our next game, a 1 o'clock Eastern matchup on CBS. The Buffalo Bills trying to get their legs back under them, playing the New York Jets. Blue, who do you like in this matchup of New York?
Now, I'm looking at, I see the Bills are a 13-point favorite in this one. See, part of me is saying that the Jets could possibly, the Jets being at home, they beat Cincinnati, come back from behind, and, they tried to sneak and kind of get back in the game against the Colts. But I'm going to go with conventional wisdom, and I'm going to stick with Buffalo. I think Buffalo, they're going to be upset they let last week get away, and they may take it out on the Jets a little bit, but we'll have to see who the Jets quarterback is going to be in that situation. So they're coming off of a mini bye, 10 days. So that could make it interesting. But right now, I think the Bills get back on track a little bit.
Good pick, and no argument here. I'm going to roll with Buffalo as well. I think they bounce back after a humiliating loss to the Jaguars. The biggest thing is they got to get back to what they're good at doing. Throw the ball down the field. Get Diggs involved early, and unfortunately, that's just something the Jets can't make any kind of defensive pass on.
Now, I will say this about the Jets. The Jets do have a pretty nice defense. We saw that firsthand. So it would not shock me if the Jets found a way to possibly upset Buffalo. If they keep this game low and just hang with them as long as possible, Jets could shock them. It would surprise me, but I don't expect it. Again, the Bills will win, but it would not surprise me if the Jets defense gives the Buffalo Bills a bit of trouble along the way.
And shout out to James Rogers. Watch until Monday Night Football. I promise you, buddy, we'll get it wrapped up before the game kicks off. But I've never seen somebody so eager to see Pittsburgh play the Bears. So you got to have some money on that one, as far as I know.
Right.
And our next 1 o'clock matchup on CBS. A pretty good matchup right here. The Cleveland Browns and the New England Patriots. Blue Enforcer, who's going to be the difference maker here?
Now, this is a tough one. This is definitely a tough one. The Browns, getting the running game back on court with Nick Chubb, probably feel like their mind is free. No more OBJ. And the Patriots have tended to struggle at home. They've done well on the road. I think I'm going to take the Patriots on this one. As much as I hate that team. I hate that team, but I think I'm gonna go off kilter and pick the Patriots on this one. I think the Patriots are coming along. They're getting a little bit better. The Browns, I just don't believe in them right now. Even though Nick Chubb is one heck of a back, and they do have a good defense with Myles Garrett, a great player. But I'm gonna go with the Patriots on this one.
And I'm going to have to go the opposite way. I feel that Cleveland got a good win against Cincinnati, and that's basically going to set up a little bit of moving ground. Now, I don't think it's going to be a blowout in any sense of the word, but
Agreed.
I do think it's going to be a tight game. This one will go into overtime. You're going to see Mac Jones struggle. I think the defense is going to get after him early and often, and he's going to get sacked probably about at least 3 to 4 times this game.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, this is -1, so it's practically a pick 'em, so it really could go either way.
So I will go Cleveland, but I'll say they'll win in overtime. Give him a field goal.
Yeah, I will go with. I'm gonna stick with New England. Mac Jones is kind of getting better, so we'll see.
In our next 1 o'clock matchup on Fox, we have the Washington football team up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So in this matchup of two pretty good defenses, is Tom Brady just going to have a field day, or is Washington's defense going to stand firm?
I want to hear what you think of this one first. I'm gonna switch it up a little.
All right, he's gonna let me go. What I like here, I feel that Tom Brady, especially coming off a bye week, he's gonna look a little off. So, historically he does well, but especially with older age, you kind of tell that he's not himself. He's not the 32-year-old coming off a bye week. The man's 44. I think he's going to struggle early, but Bucks win in the fourth quarter. I would give him 6.
We're gonna get back to being on the same page. I'm going with the Bucks too. I mean, Golden Boy, and I can't stand him more than the Patriots. Ugh. But I mean, right now, too much firepower. They have that heck of a defense on the other side with Levante David and Shaq Barrett and that big monster in the middle, Vita Vea, and I like the Bucks here. I think the Bucks might, come out. I think they're going to win by a touchdown. Definitely on this one. Feel sorry for the Washington football team. No quarterback really, and I thought their defensive front was nice, but they're just not good everywhere else. Even though I like Antonio Gibson. Shout out to Memphis, but Bucks will take this one.
It's a Buck parade on this matchup. So moving on to our next one. We've got a 1 o'clock matchup on Fox. The Atlanta Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys continue to roll with their red-hot offense. Unfortunately, they met the Denver Broncos and got stopped cold. So is this a redemption game right here? Or is Atlanta going to show the Cowboys fast start is starting to simmer down?
Much to the chagrin of the maligned Dallas Cowboy fan base, who are some of my very close friends are Cowboys fans, by the way. But I have to say they're the most delusional fan base in the world, honestly. And I know I'm going to get some flashback on that. However,
you're not wrong. I've lived in Dallas, so you're not wrong.
Yeah, delusional. Think the world is centered all around them, and really they think it's more around them than it is the team. But I think the Cowboys get back on track here at home. But I will say I think the Falcons might cover. I think it's -9, so I think the Falcons cover. But I think the boys get back on track and win this game.
And no argument here. I think the Cowboys bounce back, but I think they win at least by about. I'll say they'll win by about a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I would be interested to see how Kyle Pitts. I want to see Kyle Pitts in action.
We'll definitely see if he's the difference maker or if Micah Parsons shuts him down cold.
Yeah.
Then our next 1 o'clock matchup, Eastern on CBS. Yuck. We've got the Colts and the Jaguars. So, unfortunately for us, one of these teams has to lose, and I'm sure we all know which one we'd like to lose. But go ahead and pick your poison.
Who pick my poison? One of these teams do have to lose, and this is probably going to shock a lot of people. What I'm about to say. This could be one of my upset specials of the week. I'm going with the Jags. I think the Jags are going to roll with momentum. Trevor Lawrence and James Robinson, a very good back, which we saw firsthand. Looks like they're going to play in this game. Again, Josh Allen is a Pro Bowler if on another team. He's on another team, he's a Pro Bowler to me. And Miles Jack too. But I just think they're going to roll with. I think they're going to roll with this momentum in Indianapolis. Indianapolis is extremely beatable, and I think the Jags pull the upset.
I think Blue Enforcer's been looking in my playbook. I like the Jags stood up on defense and gave the Buffalo Bills fits. I like the fact that it was a low-scoring game. I love defensive games. Yeah. Some people like 50-50 games. I like where you got it 6-6. That, to me, is just good defense, old-fashioned smash-mouth football.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like it when it's down and dirty like that. You know, I like a good dog fight. And, you know, I just don't think the Indianapolis Colts are the type of team that could get down in a dog fight. The Jags look like they probably could. And you know, again, like you said, kept it close. And I just think the Jags have the momentum. They can shock everybody. And again, let Carson Wentz be Carson Wentz. He's erratic. He is reckless. Just let him make some plays for you.
But here's where I got to Lee Corso you, my friend. Not so fast. Unfortunately, the Colts have a very good running game. And I think that's going to be the difference here. I will go Indianapolis, but I'll say they win at least by 4 points.
We can agree to disagree.
You got to have an upset, so.
Yeah, that's true. You got to have at least one, so we'll see if that happens. You know, it'd be nice to be right or wrong, but hey, let these two teams beat each other up.
There you go. That's what it takes. And on a 1 o'clock matchup on Fox, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions. So, Blue Enforcer, do we have another upset in the making?
Heck no.
You tried holding it together. I appreciate you holding it together.
I tried. But the answer is no. You know what? The Lions have let me down quite a few times in some bets. I've picked them to cover the spread a couple of times, and they've let me down at least twice. So this time, I think the hapless Steelers, they couldn't possibly lose this one. I don't think. But anything can happen, but I'm going to go with the Steelers here.
And right here, this game just has so much interest here. Both quarterbacks playing horribly. Both defenses playing good enough to get to the fourth quarter in some games. And really, there's just nobody stepping up to try and make a difference. The question is, it's which one's going to break first.
Right.
And Detroit, I am going to go with you. You are my upset because I'm telling you right now, I don't trust old Ben Roethlisberger at all.
Wow.
So, Detroit, okay. I am going to throw you a bone. I did last time when you played the Ravens, and to me, this game has Ravens feels right there, except there's an older quarterback and not one that's so much mobile. Here's your win, Detroit. Upset.
Hey, look, I picked Detroit. See, I'm mad at Detroit because I picked them last week to cover against the Eagles, and we know how that went.
I know there's definitely a lot of ones we'd love to have back. Like I said, if I could have that Detroit and Ravens game back where that 66-yard field goal was a thing, I would have took that.
I picked them to cover, so no, I take that back. I had changed to the Ravens. I said I should have picked Detroit.
The cover would have been nice, though.
The cover would have been nice.
Moving on to our afternoon games. And this is a pretty good one. We've got a 4:05 matchup on Fox, the Los Angeles Chargers against the Minnesota Vikings. So which one of these fine teams do you think is going to be the difference maker?
Ooh, I can see this going the other way with, Staley, the coach of the Chargers, has done a pretty decent job. Let's see. They got a nice win over the Eagles. Back home on the West Coast. Justin Herbert, they've kind of started to fall back to earth a little bit. Minnesota blowing that 2-touchdown lead late against Baltimore. I would have liked to see Minnesota win, but I saw that overtime, and as the running game got going for them, I'm like, yeah, they're toast. So give me Chargers.
and I'm going to ride the Charger train with you. So Minnesota keeps blowing big leads, and anytime they get a chance to win the game, it seems they find a way to lose it. So,
go Bolts.
Yeah, former San Diego Bolts, but that's another day. We'll get into that another day. Another 4 or 5 matchup on Fox, and this was looking to be a promising matchup about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But we got the Arizona Cardinals against the very, very cooling down Carolina Panthers. So, Blue Enforcer, you can take a guess, but I'm pretty sure I know which way you're going with it.
I think you can give me 2 guesses, but we only need 1. I think we're both going to head in the same direction here. I have faith in that. I mean, and this particular team, did it with a backup quarterback, no Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins, and they took care of business on the road against the 49ers. Give me those Redbirds. Give me the Cardinals. I was impressed with them, with what they did to us week 1. So give me the Redbirds.
Sam Darnold is a fraud. And I'm saying it right here, right now. You can cash that, take it to the bank. He fooled us all. I'm done with you, Sam Darnold. Arizona's winning this game. And not only that, I am putting my lock of the week on this one.
Woo! I like that. He's seeing Ghost again. And you know what? I like that. I like that a lot. So, yeah, I'll take the Cards too.
He's going to be seeing Baby Yoda probably quite a bit too.
You got that right.
And moving on to our next matchup will be a 4:25 Eastern matchup on CBS. This one looks to be promising, but I think it's got some promise. The Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles. So in a matchup of 2 teams that are really trying to just play for some pride and see if they can get a little further than they like, Blue, which one do you like in this one?
See, I'm trying to figure out if what Denver did to Dallas was really the Broncos or was it a mirage. And honestly, I'm really starting to think that the Broncos, it's more of a mirage. I think they got lucky and caught Dallas kind of with their pants down, so to speak. And, the Eagles losing to the Chargers at home, going out to Mile High is not an easy place to play for any team, especially not really with the environment of the stadium itself, but the air is tough to deal with. So it is not easy for any team to do that. Ooh, this is not easy. But I am going to go a little crazy here.
All right.
Give me the EAGLES Eagles on this one. I think the Eagles could do something. I think what the Broncos did last week was a fluke. With the Cowboys. I think it's a fluke. I think they're a fraud. I thought that when they were 3-0, they were a fraud. They got this win, but I don't believe in them. And I don't really believe in Philly either, but I think Philly might squeak out a victory here.
Good pick. And I'm kind of in the same boat you're in. Which team do I believe in a little bit more? Because I really don't believe in them at all.
Agreed.
And in a home matchup, I got to go with the home team. I've got to go with Denver. I don't think the Dallas game was any indication that they're getting ready to turn a corner and make a massive run. But I like where Denver's heading, and I think they're in better shape than what the Eagles are right now. Okay. At least from finishing the season in a better standpoint.
Absolutely. I'm not really confident in this particular pick. I'm just kind of trying to fill it out a little bit, and that's why I kind of went with the Eagles on that one. But I'll be honest, I'm not 100% confident in this one.
I don't think anybody should be confident in this one. In a better matchup on 425 on CBS, at least we'll see how that goes with Green Bay.
Our next one,
Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Russell Wilson has been cleared to play. He will be back. Aaron Rodgers, we'll see.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Rodgers should be back for this game as well, depending on if there's any suspensions or anything like that. But man, this could shape up to be a good one. I think this could shape up to be a very good one. And the fact is, with this one, and it all really depends on if Aaron Rodgers plays. And for this one, I will say this is my lock of the week, if I'm going to call it that. I'm going with Go Pack Go. At home, Lambeau, that environment. I go with Green Bay on this one. Albeit, I would say by less than a field goal. I think it's going to be a great game.
And my thing is, you've got two quarterbacks coming in, and they're both going to be cold. So I don't see a lot of production in the first three quarters.
Yeah.
The biggest question is which one's going to just light off like a firecracker in the fourth quarter. And if I had to go with my gut, I feel a little better about Aaron Rodgers if he'll be playing. So I will roll Green Bay at home, but it's going to be a tight game. We'll give Green Bay by 3.
I'm with you on that one. Now, I will say for betting purposes out there, if you find out Aaron Rodgers ain't playing, head the other way quick.
I would advise that as well. Save yourself some agony and a little bit of coin.
I had plenty of that thanks to Jordan. There was no love for Jordan Love.
Hell, his family couldn't even get a good seat in Arrowhead Stadium, so obviously he's not getting anything.
I know that's true. Yeah.
And our Sunday night football matchup, which is interesting, 8:20 p.m. Eastern, the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. In a game where two teams are trying to turn around their fortunes and make a little run, which one's going to be the one that breaks through?
You know, big stars shine on the biggest stages. And even though I will probably say, look, even though we shellacked this team a few weeks ago, and it was a beautiful thing to see, I have way more faith in Patrick Mahomes getting it together in this particular game at Arrowhead, under the lights, at night, Arrowhead, than I would with Derek Carr and the hapless, troubling Raiders. I think the Raiders, their downfall, they lose to the Giants. I think their downfall is really beginning. I mean, and we'll talk about these divisions, but I'll go with KC.
And I'll keep it short and sweet. Kansas City gets a good win here. It's a close. I'll give them a field goal.
I say touchdown.
Going Brave. Love it. And on our ESPN Monday Night Football game at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, a Battle of the Bay, the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams.
Nice little trip up north for the Rams. As much as I like to pay homage to my dad, who passed away from an ulcer attack and was one of the biggest 49er fans in the world. And, Pop, I love you, but don't be mad at me when I say this. The Rams are going to slaughter the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to come in upset because I think they felt embarrassed, humiliated, thanks to a certain two-tone blue team. And I think they're going to take all their frustrations out on the 49ers. I think it's a double-digit victory. Give me the Rams.
And I will send condolences to your dad as well. That is not Joe Montana and Steve Young out there, sir. I promise you. He did not want to choose that team, but he went with the Rams. And I'm gonna go with the Rams as well.
Sorry, Dad.
It's nothing personal.
Nothing personal, Pops. Don't mess me up when I get there.
You might get a little love tap on the back of the head.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm like, yeah, Dad's probably gonna haunt me tonight. So.
I'm just glad my dad's not around to see the Washington football team. So,
yeah, I know some. I have a friend of one of my best friends is a fan of the Washington football team, and God bless her.
God bless them all.
Yes.
And of course, the game that matters the most to all of us, a 1:00 matchup at home in Nashville, Tennessee. Getting ready to face off against one of the questionable teams with the best running attack. It is on. Tennessee has a chance to finish the gauntlet. It is the Titans at the Saints, 1:00 Eastern Time on CBS.
Wow,
all right.
That intro.
All right, my friend. Who do you like in this matchup?
Let's make this fun. Let's make this really fun.
All right.
This game, you got the Saints coming in. They upset the Buccaneers and they lose to the Atlanta Falcons. So we don't really know what we're going to get as far as this offense. A Trevor Siemian-led offense who I believe will not also have Michael Thomas as well in this game.
That's correct.
And so I'm going to start on the offensive side of the ball. I think this could be another game where the defense dominates. I think the defensive line, even though you've got Ryan Ramczyk and Adris Pete, who are some pretty nice players, and McCoy, not a bad offensive line, but I think this is a game that the Titans can win in the trenches on the defensive side. And so I think this could be a low-scoring game. I think Siemian makes some mistakes. I think we hit him a few times. I think he throws us a pick or two. But on the other side, as we've said, the Titans are trying to figure out how to win without Derrick Henry. This is going to be yet another biology test that they're going to have to try to find a way to pass, because this Saints defense, from the numbers, and I got to go back and I'm going to look at some film going into my show on Wednesday. Saints defense, by the numbers, looks pretty good. They got some guys over there. So, and they obviously got this corner, I forget his name, somebody we should have drafted instead of Corey Davis. I think he wears number 23, the Marshawn Lattimore. Very good corner. And so, this Saints team is excellent. But I think the Titans figure out a way. They get that home cooking. I think Nissan Stadium is going to be rocking Sunday after. Just feeling this vibe after the victory over LA. I can't wait to be there. I'm going Titans. I'm going Titans all the way on this one. I think it's a closer game. I'm going to say Titans. I'm going to go in the line of 24. I'll say 24-20.
All right. And I'll let you get one more in here. Who's going to be the breakout star in that game?
Breakout star. Okay. I think this is a game that we finally get that Julio touchdown. I think Julio finally shows out. He's familiar with going up against the Saints twice a year with Atlanta. So he knows those corners and those safeties pretty well. I think this is the game. They should lean on Julio, let him break out and have like a game he had against Seattle. And I think Julio finally gets into the end zone.
You've been digging through my stat sheet, haven't you?
Hey, you know what they say? Great minds think alike.
and our minds are definitely synced in. I'm not afraid of the Saints defense. Tennessee's already gone up against two really good defenses.
Oh, I
They took care of the Colts. They took care of what at the time was a pretty good Seattle Seahawks defense. And they also took care of a pretty damn good LA Rams defense. So yeah. I'm sorry, New Orleans, but your defense doesn't scare me.
And I would agree with that because if you taking a look at the stats, they're middle of the pack totally. They struggle against the pass. They are they're number one against the run. So I'll give them that. We obviously got to be able to run the football. Some maybe Adrian Peterson. I think some home cooking. He gets his first game at Nissan Stadium as a Titan, and the last couple of times he came here, especially with Washington, he had a good game. So I like that. But, I mean, against the pass, New Orleans is toward the bottom. They're 27th against the pass. So I think this could be a game, Ryan, keep away from Marshawn Lattimore as much as possible, but you can attack this team. And I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun game.
Oh, I agree. And I'm with you all the way with the Julio thing. I think this is his breakout game. If there's one team I know Julio Jones knows how to take advantage of, it's the New Orleans Saints. Exactly. And this is the one he's going to break out. I see a multiple touchdown game.
Woo! Well, I think you've been reading my mind.
We are definitely in sync.
I like this.
This is good. So, I love Tennessee here in this one. I think the defense continues to play at a high level. They push. I think Byard gets another pick. I think you see possibly Landry get about at least 2 sacks out of this. Yeah. Maybe you see Jeffrey Simmons add on to his sack total. Possibly Bud Dupree gets a sack on this one.
I could see that. I mean, it would be nice. I would like to see Harold Landry get into the double-digit club. And dare I say, could this finally be the time I could finally, maybe for one time, I might be able to start calling Janoris Jackrabbit at least one time. That I think he might be able to get an interception. This is his former team. He's went up against these guys many times. So maybe Janoris actually has a decent game.
Jackrabbit Jenkins has been called out. It is up to you, sir. Blue Enforcer saying you will earn that nickname if you play ball.
Exactly.
So the rest is up to you.
Come on, Janoris.
But in my final prediction, I have the Titans winning 27-13. I feel the Saints have no way to answer the Titans, and the offense continues to roll, and the defense is the difference maker.
Can I change my prediction by just a little bit?
Okay, we can just a smidge.
Just a smidge. Instead of 24-20, 24-14, I think we go bigger. So, yeah, you convinced me. 24-14, Titans go for 6 in a row and go to 8-2.
I think I can live with that. I think most Titans fans can live with that. That's right. Be there. If you don't have anywhere else to be there. I know if you got to work, go work, but be there.
Hey, look, I told a lot of here in Memphis, a lot of the Titans fan club of Memphis who I was with last night, a lot of them are going up for the game. And, there's a big party going down Saturday night. I hate I'm not going to be there for that because I have to work early Sunday morning. But come 7:50, 8 o'clock Sunday morning, I am up I-40 East, headed to Nissan Stadium. I will not be missing this one.
Once again, Blue Enforcer, the truth is spoken. You should listen. Well, everybody, I want to thank my guest, Blue Enforcer of Titans and Truth, for joining us on the show today. It has been great. We've had a lot of fun. I definitely want to get you back here as soon as possible.
Yes, and you're welcome on. You're welcome on Titans and Truth anytime. Y'all make sure y'all tune in about 9 o'clock tonight. Definitely going to be doing a post game of the Rams game. And, we're going to be talking who, could be some nominees for Star of the Week or Dunce of the Day. And then Wednesday, 6:30, previewing Titans Saints.
Don't forget to tell them where to find you.
Hey, all of that on YouTube, live on YouTube. I've gotten over 1,000 subscribers. Help me get to 2,000 on my way there. And y'all make sure I give this man some. Y'all make sure I give this man some love too. I got to make sure I'm pointing in the right direction. Give this guy some love too, and make sure he gets that. Make sure y'all smash that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Find me on YouTube, Titans and Truth, Facebook, TNT Enforcers, Instagram at Titans_N_Truth, and on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. It's been fun.
Blue Enforcer, thank you for joining us tonight. It has been a privilege, and we hope the best to get you back in as soon as possible. Thank you.
I'm right here.
And don't forget, if you're trying to send me your love, you can find me at the Power Hour 615. I will be on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok at the Power Hour 615. So please, if you love the show, help it grow. I definitely want to keep continuing to put these shows out for you, and I appreciate all the support that you give. So please, continue watching the show, and I'll continue to put the effort out for you all. So I thank you so much for everything. I thank you for continuing to support us. I definitely want to give a shout out to everybody that watched the show, and a shout out to everybody that helps make this show possible. Al Pierce, tighten up to you as well, sir. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next Monday. I do apologize for Titan Man not getting in on the show. We had some technical difficulties, but one way or another, I will have him on. We did get Blue Enforcer on, so I promise anybody that's going to be on the show, they will get on the Power Hour. So, for the Power Hour, I'm Michael Bishop. Take care, and have a good night. Tighten up. Thank you for watching the Power Hour. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more content. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok at the Power Hour 615.